Evil Lynx Chap 3. At the same time, Manh and Hanh arrived at the famous medium's house. The home was shrouded in mist and filled with an air of spirituality. After discussing with the medium and performing rituals, a cold wind blew through, making Manh shiver. A spirit from the other world possessed the medium, making her face appear fierce. She bowed her head, her face hidden in shadows, and spoke. At midnight tonight, bring cat's tail grass and a round object. Head west to the abandoned field at the edge of the city. Manh and Hanh thanked the medium and quickly prepared. At PM, they set off to the abandoned field. Nam, the livestreamer, had just arrived in the city at night. As he passed the abandoned field, he noticed a strange woman. She wore a red dress, her face hidden in the darkness, looking very eerie. With his years of experience as a livestreamer, Nam sensed that this woman was likely connected to the recent child disappearances. He and his girlfriend got out of the car and followed her. As they walked, a thick fog suddenly enveloped them, obscuring their surroundings. Holding his girlfriend's hand tightly and clutching his phone, Nam pushed through the fog. When the fog cleared, they found themselves standing in an ancient, desolate, and remote village. Crossing through the fog, the two live streamers found themselves standing in an abandoned ancient village. The surrounding houses were in ruins, as if they had experienced a terrible fire. Nam and his girlfriend believed that this place could be the source of dark mysteries. They felt excited and eager to share their findings with their audience through the live stream. However, their phones lost signal. Frustrated, Nam had to switch to video recording mode on his phone to document their experience. While exploring, Nam discovered an old house that seemed more intact compared to the other dilapidated buildings. On the upper floor of the house, Nam found a torn and tattered old diary. In it, they uncovered the writings of a grieving father, telling about his daughter's disappearance in this village. As it turned out, in the past, after Lynn woke up in the cave, she tied up the Mrs. Show, who was still unconscious, and followed the path out to the forest edge. Here, she found her parents and villagers searching for her. She followed her parents home, but before that, she assured the villagers that she had been kidnapped by the witch Show and had luckily escaped. She locked Mrs. Show back in a deep cave in the forest. Upon hearing this, the villagers became even more frightened. The increasing number of disappearances had already caused panic and fear, with many firmly believing that the witch was responsible for the mysterious disappearances and the children's vanishing. When they arrived at the cave and saw the puppets, they further believed that she had kidnapped the children to perform dark rituals, consuming their flesh and using them for evil purposes. Therefore, the villagers decided to punish Mrs. Show by burning her alive. Mrs. Show cried and denied all the accusations made by the villagers, declaring that she was not a witch and had never committed any evil deeds as they believed. However, amidst the chaos and hatred, Mrs. Show's resistance did not change the villagers' decision. They tied Mrs. Show to a wooden post and her body was engulfed in flames. The screams of pain and resentment echoed through the village, creating a horrifying and haunting atmosphere in everyone's minds. Yet, the villagers believed that they had liberated the village from demons and evil. Meanwhile, Lynn returned home, but her demeanor changed strangely. Lynn became completely different from before, her habits and preferences resembling those of a cat. She liked catnip, liked round objects, couldn't eat hot food, and often licked her hands and stroked her face. This made Lynn's father, who loved her dearly, pay attention. Lynn's parents worried about their daughter's change and decided to seek help from a spiritual master. The spiritual master told them that Lynn's soul was no longer in her body but was a demonic soul that needed to be brought here to perform a summoning ritual immediately. But when they went to see the master, while performing the ritual, they encountered the resistance of the cat god, a mysterious supernatural entity they couldn't understand. The spiritual master tried to use his power to resist the cat god, but in vain. The master died in the exorcism. It was then that Lynn's parents learned that their daughter had been swapped with the body of the witch Show and was burned alive by the villagers the other day. They were deeply pained but could do nothing. They decided to write down all the stories in this diary to convey their emotions. But Lynn's soul, after the sacrifice, liberated from the control of the witch and the cat god, burned in endless rage, her body occupied, the pain of being burned alive causing her eyes to turn red like blood, her face full of anger becoming ferocious. Lyn's supernatural power began to burn down the village, creating ruins like today. Reading this, Nam and his girlfriend suddenly felt cold, but then they felt sorry when they looked at the picture of the cute little Lyn. Lost in emotions, a hand suddenly patted Nam's shoulder. He screamed and turned around to find his older sister. "Sister, how did you get here?" Nam asked Mai. It turned out that Mai and Han also arrived at the deserted field at this time. They saw Nam and his girlfriend running towards the fog and quickly followed suit. After hearing the diary, all four decided to go into the forest and find a way out.